Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. It's time for another midweek update. Yeah, kitty, kitty, kitty. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Midweek Update. Hope that you're all doing so well and that your kids are adjusting well to online learning. It's been a little bit of a curve for us, but I think we're doing well. Hope you had a great Holy Week. And we had a great Easter. I think it was the first time we've ever been home on Easter Sunday in our entire lives. So that was sort of strange, but it was really good. And also on Sunday was the Tiger King special hosted by Joel McHale, who I think is hilarious. Always enjoyed Joel McHale. And let's, maybe talk about other things we think Carole Baskin is responsible for. Did she shoot JFK? I don't know. Probably not. But has anybody seen her first husband lately? I don't know. I don't think so. Let's get into it. So today we are talking to Faye DeMeyer, who is my friend and counselor, mental health professional, professor, minister, you name it. She's one of my favorites. Talking to her about grief today. I think that a lot of people have some things that they're grieving and some disappointments that are manifesting itself as anger, but I think it's really the root of it is grief. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today.
To talk today about handling what's going on with the COVID and being locked in for at least 4 weeks now.
Yeah.
We began to lock in about the mid of March. And you had mentioned that people might be dealing with grief, right?
I'm seeing a lot of grief manifesting as anger.
Yes. And one of the stages of grief is anger, so that works really well in our discussion. So let's take a look at anger in its raw phases, okay? Because there's 4 stages of anger, 4 different levels of anger. And one of the levels of anger is hate, just that thought of an intense anger felt toward a person or toward an event or toward something that's blocked our way. Another is annoyance. This is used as a mild form of anger, just kind of annoyed by something. Like, I think initially when we had to go and get a bunch of toilet paper, that was kind of annoying, right?
Right.
Rage is described as intense anger and implies the anger is expressed through violence or some physical activity. And this idea of wanting to go get revenge, that level of anger.
Okay.
And then hostility, a mild form of anger or hate directed to a specific person or group, unintentionally conveyed, kind of building a hostile environment, which I think is closer to what this whole thing did for us. So when people began to catastrophize a virus, which they kept believing that they could control a virus, kind of like they think they can control an earthquake or a hurricane or whatever. The same people are doing the same thing. Well, the odd thing about it is viruses are just that. They're viral, and you can't really contain them even with the little mask unless you have a gas mask or a N95 instinct for self-preservation. So we're like, you know what? This virus is not going to. So there's kind of almost an aggression toward the virus itself.
Yes.
Do you feel that too? And then a loss of value.
I'm observing that a lot.
Say that again.
I feel like I'm observing a lot of that on social media.
A lot.
Yeah.
And then a loss of valued possession, skills, or abilities. And I'm sure that all of those, I mean, we're going to lose our houses, we're going to lose our jobs, therefore houses, therefore cars, therefore all those things that we got used to, right? And then a loss of, and of course, regardless of who is to blame, losing something we're proud of can cause both hurt and anger. So I love what you said earlier when we were talking previously, is this anger seems to be the secondary emotion over top of the hurt and the fear.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. loss of a valued role. If we lose part of our life, such as job, which is important to our identity, we may feel angry at having our role removed from us. So people who were bank managers, I'm sure that the higher your role position, the harder it felt like you felt.
Regarding grief and fear / anger, what do you think we can do, Faye, what do you think what is the correct response to those things?
I think to feel what you feel and to not deny the feelings and understand that you're in a place of being able to control what you can, and that's what you think and do and say about your anger and about the emotions of what's happening in our lives. And when you get under control of the things you say, what you do, and what you think, then your feelings follow that, right? And our culture is really largely predicated on following feelings. It's a subjective thing that we're going through, right? This whole idea of subjectivity. If it feels this way, we're not even looking at the data at all. And we need to look at data rather than to look on our feelings only, because the data really is this. If you are talking or hearing this particular podcast, this Zoom, you are among the living. So your first thought is, what am I thankful for?
Yeah.
Right? And the other thought, besides these two women are crazy, are what could I be doing right now to literally bring my life up to a higher quality given what I do have? Whether this thing stays in place for 2 more weeks or 2 more months isn't the issue. What are you doing every day? We talked last time about getting up and showing up, but there's nothing more important than having a schedule. Keep your schedule, because guess what? Your schedule gives you a sense of purpose and control in your life. Put things out there a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks out there that give you a sense of purpose. So having a future hope. One of the pieces that are missing right now is purpose and hope. If we don't have purpose and hope, the Bible says, where there's no vision, the people perish. The vision is this idea of a future purpose, right?
Right.
And for me, I know the vision that God has for me. It's to everywhere I go, however He allows me to do it, whether it's Zoom or in person, is to be able to give an answer for the hope that's in me, right? How do I have this hope in me if I'm sitting around going, my life sucks? Well, my life doesn't suck anymore, whether I'm in-house or outside a house. My life does not suck. What makes my life suck is me and how I interpret my life. I can appraise it to be the worst possible life ever, or I can appraise it to be the best possible life ever. So perspective is everything. It's like Thomas Edison said, when his barn burned down because he was developing the battery, him and his son, and it arced, it caught fire in the hay, and they both ran out different doors of the barn, and he came around yelling for his dad, and he sees his dad, his arms are crossed, and he said, go get your mom. Why? He goes, I don't think she's ever seen a fire this big. This curiosity, this imaginable hope of what can this future be? If there's a fire this big from that small arc, what else could happen out there? I mean, you can almost see him into the future projecting the fire blowing blowtorch, you know what I mean? That we now use in wartime to tear down and complete forests. It's amazing. But if it weren't for God, we would have no hope, right?
Absolutely.
So the first thing we need to do is really discern what our belief system is on. Is our belief system based on my good job? I'm toast. If it's based on my house, might not be here tomorrow. If it's based on my health, guess what? COVID. Whatever it is, you have to figure out, is your life based on something that's temporary? If it is, you're already in trouble. If it's based on something external outside of you, you're already in trouble. Okay? And so you have to know who you are and what you're building it on. And then you start building your future based on that. So what is my purpose? Once I know who I am, my identity, then I figure out what my purpose is. What's my purpose? I believe each person has been assigned a purpose to fulfill. Are you fulfilling your purpose? Well, how do I know what my purpose is? Sit down with yourself long enough to let it hurt long enough and begin to self-reflect.
And this is the time to do it.
Oh, you have time.
This is the time to do it.
The gift of time.
Yes. Faye,
the gift of time.
That was so good. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching Midweek Update.
And wherever you are, I hope that you have a place that you can go hide from your family for just 5 minutes, for just some self-care or self-loathing, whatever works for you right now. Just do it. Just do it. All right, I'm going to close it out with a parody. Love you guys. See you next week right here at Midweek Update. Corona, oh na na. Corona, oh na na. Corona, oh na na.